Good morning. Welcome to Mrs. Dickinson's first grade class morning announcements. We are live and homebound wide. I'm Mrs. Dickinson.
And I'm Mr. Dickinson. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2020.
Today's positivity project character strength is humor. Mr. Dickinson, what did the big flower say to the little flower?
Are you blooming today?
Hi, bud. I got another one for you.
Okay.
Where do polar bears keep their money?
Polar caps?
In the snowbank.
Oh, good one.
Today's advice of the day: laughter is contagious. So share a joke with the class by sending an email or text to Mrs. Dickinson today. I can't wait to get a good laugh tomorrow with all your jokes.
Today's weather. High temperature of 51 degrees with 50% chance of rain.
Today's extra announcements: virtual teaching and learning will continue next week. We will make the most out of our extra time together. I am already so proud of all your hard work. Keep it up. Thanks, Mr. Dickinson, for helping out with the morning announcements again.
No problem. That's all, folks.
Friends, quite a few shout outs again today. Have a bunch of pictures to share with you all. And so I have Frida showing her hope and optimism with her math work yesterday. Frida, we're so proud of you. Dexter worked extremely hard with his writing. I can't wait to read your writing today, Dexter. He even was persevering through reading, and I know Phoenix must have loved to hear you read. And I love this outdoor picture of Dexter. I believe he's at Beaver Lake. I can't wait to see if you write about that, Dexter. Way to go. Padraig is being hopeful and optimistic with getting all of his math done. I notice there's a lot of big numbers that you're adding. I love how you are being an excellent teacher to your younger brother, too. He must be ready for first grade already since you're teaching him. Great job, Padraig. Here's a picture of Ella. She's being hopeful and optimistic. I love the creativity, too, Ella. I know this is a little dark, but this is Danica. Danica's being hopeful and optimistic. She's getting her reading done. I love the cozy fire in the background, Danica. Way to go. Isaiah, I love the creativity with the alternating red and yellow colors. Beautiful letter formation. An amazing drawing. Very optimistic and hopeful, Isaiah. This is great. Making me hungry. Mr. Dickinson, you think we can get McDonald's for lunch today?
Maybe.
I got a maybe. Quincy, this picture looks very familiar. It looks like the picture from Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. I love how you're creating your own story in your writing notebook. Way to go, Quincy. A couple more shout outs is to Jacob for getting all of his math work done. I loved it, Jacob. I can't wait to read about your race car in your writing review. Awesome job. Friends logging on and practicing their math on Zern are Danica, Padraig, Giada, Gio, Kirash, Jamie, Isaiah, Ella, Angelina, Quincy, nice job on your math. Dexter, Sophia, and Jacob. Way to go, friends, logging on and practicing your math on Zearn. At the end of the week, I will give you an update on how many lessons you've been working hard on this week. Shout out to Jamie for logging on to Epic, Ella, Padrig, Gabe, nice job logging on to Epic today. Frida, Sophia, Isaiah, Jacob, Quincy, Danica, again, a rock star on Epic. Garrett, way to go. Kirash, and Dexter. Dexter, I see you're watching a lot of how-to videos. Awesome job on that. Friends, I'm looking at your agenda for today. You've had a lot of guest teachers yesterday and last week. And I'm so lucky to have some amazing teachers that I work with, like Miss Sivers, Mrs. Wall, Mrs. Houston, and Mrs. Orr. They are continuing to help be guest teachers throughout the week. So looking at your schedule, you're going to practice your foundations chants. Miss Sivers is going to work with you on vowel, consonant E. Make sure that you have paper and a pencil or a whiteboard for foundations time. For reading, Miss Sivers is going to read a book and you're going to think about making connections. And so in a story, if there is a girl who goes for a walk with her dog, I might make the connection, right? Text to self connection because I have a dog and I go for walks. So think about what connections you can make after you listen to Miss Sivers read her book today. In writing, you can choose to continue working on your piece from yesterday, or you can write a new review. Today's lesson is about a closing sentence, or we can call it a goodbye. And so Mrs. Orr is going to show you how to work on closing sentences in writing. And I'm going to show you a game that I wrote about, and it's a little math related. So to play this game, you're going to want to have some cards, and you're going to want to have a piece of paper and pencil or a whiteboard and marker. You can play this game with someone at home, or you can play by yourself. And so I'm going to show you how to play by yourself. And on your cards, if you have a jack, a queen, or a king, those are worth 10. If you have an ace, that is worth 1. Okay? And so you're going to pick 2 cards and put them down. And then you're going to pick 2 more cards and put them down. So this is where if you were playing with someone, maybe these were my cards and these are Mr. Dickinson's cards. Okay? And so I'm going to add, and I'm going to make sure I'm practicing my number sentence. So I'm going to say 10 plus 2 equals 12. And so with a whiteboard marker or a pencil, you're going to write the number 12 or whatever number you get, okay? My other 2 cards are an ace and a 6. Do you remember what the ace is worth? 1. I'm going to start with the bigger number. 6 plus 1 equals 7. So I'm going to write down a 7 on the other side. Now, I hope you remember that we're working on less than, greater than, or equal to. A good way to remember that is the alligator wants to eat the bigger number, I can even draw some teeth in there if that makes this game a little bit more fun. But when I read this, I notice that this is a bigger space. And so I read it as 12 is greater than 7. So you say that. Good. Excuse me. Now I'm going to show you if I were to have my numbers on the other side, if I were to have 7 first and 12 on the other side, my alligator still wants to eat the bigger number. I can draw some teeth in there for the alligator's mouth. Wants to crunch on 12. And when I read this sign looks like a sideways L. Doesn't it kind of look like a sideways L? If I were to turn it, it looks like the capital letter L, right? And so I can say 7 is less than 12. And when I was your age, I just remembered that this looks like a sideways L. So when I read from left to right in math, I know that this sign means less than. So that's a card game that you can play with someone. If you have a younger brother or sister, you can always teach them too. Maybe they can practice writing their numbers and you can practice saying the number sentences. Remember, 10 plus 2 equals 12. 6 plus 1 equals 7. 12 is greater than 7. And so your younger brother or sister could be practicing their number formation and they could be writing on a piece of paper or a whiteboard, okay? Or you can play by yourself. So I know yesterday I mentioned about writing a review about a card game. That's the card game, and I will share my review with you tomorrow. For math today, it is Fluency Tuesday. You should be working on 1 or 2 sprints, practicing Zearn. If whatever lesson you're on in Zearn is too tricky or too easy, I want you to ask someone at home to let me know so I can switch your level, okay? For math on your sprints, you might see some patterns that are going to ask you to skip count. And when we skip count, it doesn't mean we're going in order like 7, 8, 9, 10. It means that we're skipping some numbers in between. And so when you look at my numbers, are the numbers going up or are they going down? You're right, they're going up. So when the numbers are going up, that means we are adding. And so I'm going to try and figure out how much we're adding. So I'm looking at 2 numbers that are right next to each other to figure that out. Do you see 2 numbers right next to each other that are already given to us? You're right. They're these numbers right here, right? And so I look at 26 and I look at 36 and I'm going to think, how many numbers in between did we add? Did you say 10? You're right. I added 10. So that's the pattern. Now that I know what the pattern is, I'm going to look at 6. And remember, our numbers are going up, so I'm adding. So I say 6 plus 10 equals, 10's bigger, so I'm going to put that in my head. Then I'm going to add 6 more. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And now I filled in my pattern. Now on your sprint, you might also see some numbers where there's 2 number expressions. I'm going to give you a tricky one. And there's an equal sign, right? And so when I see this equal sign, something that I like to do is I like to just draw a line like this. And I want to figure out this side because it's complete. And whatever this side is equal to, I know that this side needs to be equal to that as well. And that'll help me figure out my missing number. So 17 take away 6. I'm going to start at 6. I'm going to count up to 17. I might run out of fingers. And so what I want you to start thinking about is, if I were to add 10 to 6, what number would I get? 16, right? If I were to add 10. How many more to get to 17? One more, right? And so hopefully you're thinking the difference between 6 to 17 is adding 11. And so I cross off this side and I'm going to put an 11. Oops, I'm not doing so good writing upside down, not being a good role model for my number formation. Now let's check this answer. So remember I said start at 6 and count up to 17. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to think, I'm putting 110 over there, 17. So remember I have that 10 and 1 is 11. So now I'm going to rewrite this side and I'm going to say something take away 8 equals 11, right? Because this side needs to equal 11. Whenever we don't know the number that we start with when subtracting, we're going to add the other two parts. So I want you to think of this as like a number bond. Let me do this in a different color so you can see. So we don't know what the total is, right? That's our missing number. But we do know our two parts. We know that we're going to end up with 11, and we know that we're taking away 8. And so when I organize these numbers in a number bond, I know, oh, I need to add 11 and 8. 11 plus 8 equals 19. So I know my missing number is 19. Tricky, I know, but if we just take our time, we can do it, right? So that is for Fluency Tuesday in math. I bet you can find a lot of those problems in your sprint packet. Looking at your agenda, you have your optional science project. If you already watched the Pebble Go videos and you chose what habitat you would like to visit, I want you to be focusing on answering those questions in a complete sentence. You can click right on the Traveler paper copy that will remind you of the questions, okay? And the last page, there is a drawing of like a body, and you can draw and color what you, if that were your body, were to be wearing. And so if I'm traveling to the Arctic, I'm thinking I might need to leave my beach hat at home, right? But if I'm traveling to the desert, maybe I could bring my beach hat with me. If I'm traveling to the Arctic, I might want to be packing something to put on my hands. But if I'm traveling to the desert, I probably want to be packing something that I could like fan myself with. Because I think you know there's a big difference between the Arctic and the desert. So I can't wait to see your finished projects. Friends, I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and remember, Mr. Dickinson and I can't wait to hear some of your jokes, and I will make sure to share them with the class tomorrow morning. Have a great day.